the scream of a mother is something you will never forget. You know, a mother grieving the loss of her child is something that it's something in that shriek, in that scream that you can never get out of your head. And that's not something that I would wish on anybody. It's tough. I mean, there's no easy way to say, you know, you'll never see your relative again. Just like recently, probably a couple months ago, we just had to do one where a guy committed in the park. 24-year-old guy committed in the park. So we had to go tell his dad, his mom.
Can you let us know about the scariest time you've ever experienced?
Scariest time, man, would have to be when two officers were killed. I think it was back in February. One of our process servers and an Independence Police Department guy, Cody Allen and Drexel Mack, they were killed by a guy, man. So they were, so the process servers are the ones that go out and do the evictions. So they were going out to evict the guy, and how it goes is, you know, they were out there with a locksmith. He drilled the lock because they normally change out the locks or whatever. So he drilled the lock, and when they opened the door, the guy was almost like laying in wait for him. So he started shooting, and I think Drexel was the one that got hit first. And Drexel was kind of a larger guy, you know, so, and it was hard for people to get to him because every time you got in a certain place where the guy could see you, he was shooting. So one of the Independence guys comes to try to check on Mac, and he took a round as well. So everybody, man, is coming from everywhere. I mean, agencies in and out of the county were coming. They put out the call for everybody to come. So I get there, and at this time, there are like still shots going off. Like you could still hear shots going off. So I got with one of our snipers and another one of our deputies. So we went to the house just to the left of the house, and we got with the neighbor like, hey man, there's this big cornfield right here. Can you drive us out into this field in the bed of your truck so our sniper can take up a position out here behind this shed? So he's like, yeah, I'll do it. So we're all laying in the back of this truck. I got the shield. The sniper's got his rifle. Then the other deputy, he's got his guns as well. So he drives us out to this field, man. And, you know, we're running. So I'm running kind of at an angle because I got to hold this shield up in front of all of us just in case somebody starts shooting from where we are, you know, so they don't hit none of us. So we finally make it out to the shed that was out in the middle of this cornfield. And so, you know, I'm spotting for the sniper just in case, you know, telling them what I see, the whole nine. So after a while, they finally send in the TAC guys, the special forces dudes, to go in and get the guy. He ultimately lived, but that was after taking out two guys, one of our process servers and Independence PD guy. Super scary, man, super tense. Nothing like I've ever seen before. It was literally like an active zone, man, like something that I've never seen before. I mean, literally the scariest, because you just never knew what was happening. And then to know you got two of your guys down, one, you can't even get to him because the guy is still shooting at whoever tries to come and help. Super scary, man. And unfortunately, both of them guys, man, lost their lives that day. Drexel Mack and Cody Allen. The scariest day ever.
Talk about being off the clock and recovering, trying to recover from that.
Man, it was tough because a lot of people, they hear it, you know, they hear the news clippings and they hear, you know, but to actually be there, man, it was overwhelming, bro. I mean, you had people in the street crying, grown men, because this is like the ultimate of what we do. You know, this is like the worst case scenario of what we do. None of us ever expect to go this way, but now you got to digest, what if I was the first dude here? That could have easily been me, you know, and now you got to tell these guys' families that they won't ever see them again. You know what I mean? So like having to swallow that, it was tough, man. It was tough to even try to wrap your mind around it because again, it could have been you. But the only positive thing that I got out of it, bro, when you need help as a cop, everybody coming. Everybody's coming. Yeah. I've never seen in all of my years of law enforcement as many cars from different agencies showed up. I mean, I'll go to say, man, it was probably between 70, 80 police cars from everywhere. ATF, FBI, you know, over the county lines, Kansas City, Independence, Oak Grove, Sugar Creek. I mean, I'm telling you, everybody from every agency in the area, Blue Springs, everywhere. Man, they came and they showed up, ready to put it down for their boys.
That's a time where everybody come together.
Yeah, man. All your differences go aside. You know, sometimes you got agencies like, well, I don't like working with this agency because their guys are lazy, or all that didn't matter. All that didn't matter. You know, and some of our guys, man, like, because we had to debrief afterwards. So some of our guys got blood on the front of their pants from trying to help guys, you know, get guys in the cars and get them transported to the hospital, you know, like, and, you know, we checking on them like, man, y'all good? Like, y'all got this guy's blood all in front of y'all pants. That's a layer of mental stress that all of us don't have. Like, us being here is stressful enough, but to know you got the blood of a fallen officer on your pants and on your shoes, bro, I wouldn't wish that on nobody. But
how was the first time you had to speak to somebody's family and let them know they were?
It was tough. It was tough. Very first time I had to do it, I was inexperienced, so I went with somebody. But the first time I had to do it myself, the scream of a mother is something you will never forget. You know, a mother grieving the loss of her child is something in that shriek, in that scream that you can never get out of your head. And that's not something that I would wish on anybody. It's tough. I mean, there's no easy way to say, you know, you'll never see your relative again. Just like recently, probably a couple months ago, we just had to do one where a guy committed suicide in the park. 24-year-old guy committed suicide in the park. So we had to go tell his dad and his mom, you know, and everybody's got tons of questions that we can't answer. Why? What happened? Did he leave a note? None of it. None of it. We don't have any answers. All the answers that you're looking for, we want to know too, but we don't have them. So that part of it, aside from having to be a part of witnessing the deceased, now you got to go and talk to the families who are hoping for the best, but you come in bearing the worst news ever. Yeah, it'll get you choked up. You know, you got to try to hold it together till you at least get in the car, but it'll get you choked up, man. That's why I tell people never take the humanity out of what you do. When you become a robot, that's dangerous.
Is it?
I got a question. There's no camera.
Yeah, but it's a mic. Yeah. You talking about the audio.
What is the mortality rate when it comes to officers and self-inflicted harm?
It's high. It's higher than a lot of people know. I don't know the exact number, but car wrecks and suicides kill a lot of cops every year. You know, and that's one thing I tell people all the time now, bro, go talk to somebody. But don't, because of course, growing up, going to see a therapist was taboo. You know, you don't, but now I'm like, bro, go talk to somebody. I would much rather you talk to me and somebody else than me have to speak at your funeral, telling people how great of a person you were. No, go talk to somebody. Get that off your chest. Because I think that's what leads to a lot of the self-inflicted stuff. You know, they try to bottle it in. And when that stuff come back, man, they come back with a vengeance. And if you haven't properly dealt with it, it'll overwhelm you. One of my favorite instructors in the academy committed suicide. Great guy. Worked for Chicago PD for hundreds of years. Great stories, amazing narrator. Got overwhelming for him. Couldn't take it. took itself out. So the mortality rate for cops, man, like I said, car wrecks and self-inflicted, those take out a lot of cops every year.
When it comes to the resources that are available for the department, do you see a difference in significance in number when it comes down to race and individuals taking those offers? Because there's a saying that a lot of us don't really go to therapy because we.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, of course, like the numbers are rising, but like initially, nah, I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna be all right. Nah, no, go. Like, so I told my relative, man, go, bro. Don't sit here and try to, bro. You got tears in your eyes right now, so I know it's affecting you. Go talk to somebody. I'll talk to you till I'm blue in the face. If talking to me is gonna help you, bro, I'm here. I went and got him and rode him around for a while after that happened. Talk to me. Let's rap. Get it off your chest. I know it's bothering you. So we talked, and the next day he went and talked to a therapist, and I think he went like 3 or 4 sessions. I'm like, go as many times as you want, bro. The county paying for it. Take as much time as you need, because who are you gonna help out here if your head ain't right? Nobody. So take that time, man. But yeah, they make it available. Like, we got peer support groups now. We got people internally, and we got outside resources now that we didn't have when I first started here. When I first started, it was like, if you have something traumatic happen, figure it out. Figure it out. But now they got people in place, man. So I tell them, take advantage of it. Take full advantage of it.
And let's say you're going through a routine traffic stop. Let's say we do a series of 100. How many times when you walk to that window do you fear that it's not going to go in the direction you want it to go? Like, how often do you fear for your life when you do walk up to that window?
It's like 50-50.
50-50.
It's like,
that's a big number.
It's like 50-50, because you never know what you're walking into until you walk into it. So when you're able to exhale, like, okay, this is gonna be all right. But initially, every traffic stop, unless you're a robot, you get your heart pumping, because you just never know. So many people watch social media and see, so a lot of people don't like cops these days. Rightfully so in a lot of rights. But when you go up, man, you just never know. You never know. But again, that's why I always try to put my best foot forward when I talk to people, because that lessens the possibility of things going way left when they don't have to. So, but yeah, man, it's probably about 50-50. Because especially if you're rolling up on a car with some tinted windows, you just never know what's waiting behind those windows for you. So I tell people all the time, hey, I tap on the window. Before I even get to the back window, I'm tapping on the back of the car. Let the window down. Let me see what you got going on. All right, cool. Now that I know everything, you can roll them back windows up now. I don't know anybody back there. But, because I worked nights for a majority of my career. I would go back to nights in a heartbeat now. But like nighttime, man, that's where all of the good stuff is. But it's also more dangerous because you're working under the cover of night. That's where criminals thrive at. So, but yeah, man, I say about 50-50.
I had another question that just slipped my mind. Damn it, I'm on my own camera, so that works. When it comes to, that's what it was. There's a big debate when it comes down to, I wouldn't even say racial profiling, but when it comes to individuals of color, we always seem to be the aggressors in situations like that. Do you get the same feeling, or is it more of a, do you think they're afraid of us in a sense of, because we're looked at as dangerous?
Yeah. So I've always said this from the very beginning. I think one of the major problems is you take a lot of, we just call it what it is. You take a lot of Caucasian dudes, throw them into areas that they're unfamiliar with, and try to have them police people that they know nothing about. It's always going to be a problem. You don't know the language. You don't know none of that. So you get a bunch of guys raised out in high society, throw them down here to inner city Kansas City, and they lost. They think everything is an act of aggression, when it's not. It's just how we are. It's just how we talk. Man, what's up, man? What you pulling me over for? Oh, that's aggressive. I'm just asking you a simple question. But when you got guys that are not from where they're policing, there's always going to be problems. take them, man. Train them down here. I mean, train them in the areas that you're going to have them in. Let them be able to learn the lingo. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, a lot of cops are scary. That's my personal opinion. A lot of them are scary. And you can tell the scary ones because when things go left, even when it doesn't even require it, the first thing they do is reach for their waist.
Do you feel the same way as if you took an inner city cop and stuck him in the suburbs? You think that same aggression would be there as far as?
I think it would be a learning curve, but a lot of suburbia is a lot softer. You know what I'm saying? They're a lot more coddled. You know, you may have the entitlement, but I don't know if they're going to be fearful, so to speak. You know what I mean? They don't have, it's soccer moms. You know what I mean? But when you put them down here, a lot of this is hard living.
So how do you deal with Karens?
Me personally, I let them talk. Get it off their chest. That's me. I let people talk. All right, are you finished now? Cool. Now let me say what I got to say. But I mean, it's all a matter of how you handle people. Like I don't have problems talking to people. I can talk to anybody of any race, any background. Knock on wood. I mean, I ain't failed yet. But yeah, man, it's like a lot of times, man, you try to put people that are unfamiliar in places they're unfamiliar with and expect the greatest outcomes. It's never going to happen.
So do you think that the greatest policy that can be enforced when it comes down to law enforcement is people from that community policing their own society?
Yeah, I think that could be one of the greatest tools because you know the lingo, you know it. You know what I'm saying? Like you come in the inner city as a cop from the inner city, bro, that's why I never had no problem with people in the 30s or the 20s. I'm from this area. I know what it's like. I know how they live. I know pretty much, bro, every neighborhood you're gonna go to is gonna be based on one of two things, respect and respect. You respect people 99 times out of 100, they're gonna respect you back. But you can't go into it all aggressive and trying to control people. That's not gonna get you the best outcome. Because we meet force with force. That's what we do. Where I came up at, all right, that's what you on? I'm on that too. And that just translates over, and that's how a lot of police, man, they come with that aggression initially and expect people to cower down. That's not gonna happen. Oh, so that's what you on? Bet. We on that. And now it's created a whole nother situation. But if you took time to understand the people that you're trying to police, you would get it. Respect is everything.
Right. Two-part question, this is my last one.
Okay.
How dangerous is it? Because we hear about how dangerous it is being a cop.
Mm-hmm.
We always come to the idea of we take the knowledge, but we really don't really know. Mm-hmm. And then how many times have you found yourself in danger?
All right, so how dangerous is it? For the lack of a better term, hella. It's hella dangerous just in and of itself. It's a dangerous profession. But I go back to how you interact with people is gonna determine a lot of how your outcomes are gonna be. So you handle people a certain way, unless they just off the wall, you're gonna be cool. How you approach them, how you handle them is everything. Like they say, 90% of communication is nonverbal. It's kind of the same thing. How you handle people is 90% gonna yield you a great or bad outcome, depending on how you handle it. And how many times have I found myself in danger? A couple. One in particular, this is where I almost had to shoot a guy. Picked up a shotgun. We were going to his house on a domestic call. His baby mom's called us. They were doing a child exchange at his house. So he had one of those U-shaped driveways. You can get in and, so she parked in the middle in front of the house. So he goes and parks two of his cars blocking the driveway so she can't get out. So she calls like, hey, he's got me blocked in. He's crazy. Come and help me. So me and my partner go flying out there. So it's probably 50 yards, man. No, I didn't say 50, probably 30 yards from the street to his house, well, in the grass. So he comes walking out when he sees us pull up. He's like, get out of here. I didn't call y'all here. Get out of here. I'm like, we here now. So he walks probably from me to that window almost. And the grass is probably about shin high. So he reaches down in the grass and picks up a camo-colored shotgun out of the grass. So of course, everything is game on now. But the only thing that saved him was he picked it up out of a barrel. Anything else, it would have been a wrap. So that's probably the closest that I've come to like danger, so to speak. Like I've never had nobody pull no weapons on me or nothing, but that was the closest that I've come. And when he seen it, I was not playing. He dropped it and ran in the house, so we had to have the SWAT team come and get him out. But that was probably the closest that I've personally come to danger before. I mean, and I'm talking get your blood pumping.
So in that moment, what prevented you from drawing?
So now I drew on him, right? But I didn't pull the trigger because they say in high stress situations, like your vision gets tight, time kind of slows down. And it literally, I had time in those few seconds, I thought about his daughter. I thought about, do I really have grounds to shoot this dude? I thought about all of the outcomes after the fact. I'm like, do I really want to be responsible for shooting and killing this girl's dad in front of her? And this be the impression of law enforcement that she has? Because those are the impressions that last forever. All I remember is the cops killing my daddy in the front yard. We never lived that down. So in that short window of time, I thought about all of that. And had he done anything wild, I would have had to go through with it. But that's what kept me from pulling the trigger.
So basically adding in 100 different police officers in that same scenario. Do you feel like every police officer would take that same approach?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it's unfortunate, but you know, they say some guys come to work looking for certain things. Like I wouldn't say that a lot of them do, but I can't say that a lot of guys would have had the kind of restraint that I had. I mean, because, he picked up a gun. And this was before we had body cams. So it would have been my word. You know, did he pick up a gun? Yes. But did he pick the gun up readily available to do harm to you? No. No. So those things matter. Those things matter. And like I said, in that window of time, I had time to think about all of the outcomes. And I'm glad that it didn't happen the way it did. And I ended up seeing him like 2 years after that. I bumped into him at Quick Trip.
What was the exchange?
His name was Michael Shoemaker. So he was like, hey, he's like, I know you. He was like, wait, you came to my house that day when I was having problems with my daughter's mom. I said, yeah. And he told me, he said, man, thank you for not shooting me. I told him, I said, man, look, I appreciate it, but you don't have to thank me. I said, I'm just glad things didn't go the way they could have gone. He was like, yeah, man, I was tripping. You know, I just appreciate you for not shooting me. I was like, all right, man, take care. And he ended up dying in a car wreck, like not long after that. But yeah, man, just those split seconds, how they say, you know, cops have to make decisions in the moment. If you practice good judgment, you'll make good judgment calls under stress. You perform what you practice. So if all you practicing is hot-headed responses, you're gonna be a hot-headed dude, and you're gonna make some choices that's gonna get you hemmed up later on.
I concluded my section.
One more. That was good. Well, come in here and ask me a question. Like, this is my last one.
All right.
We can keep you here forever. The percentage now versus when the mob was at its highest times, or mafia and even the crack era was at its heights or whatever, the percentage of police being bought now versus then.
I don't know that. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a thing, but like a lot of departments now won't even hire people with a bunch of debt because they feel like they can be bought. If you got a bunch of debt, they feel like you're more susceptible to bribes. So they won't hire you if you got a bunch of debt.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, like, that was a thing. Man, cops on the payroll, that was a real thing. And, you know, like I said, nowadays, they try to cut back on that. Like, if you got $75,000, $100,000 in debt, what is it? If it ain't a mortgage, what is it? And if you got a bunch of unexplained, you know, like payday loans and all that, nah. Most departments won't even look at you twice. because they feel like you're more susceptible to being bought, or you're more susceptible to theft. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a bunch of cats, man. It's been some situations, bro. Like if I was a thief, man, I done stopped and chased the car, cats and jumped out, all four of them take off running.
Oh, yeah.
You got a gun in the seat, you pop the console full of cash. What do you do with it? Turn it in.
And the human side of me understands that for a cop who, especially, y'all don't really get paid that,
Nah.
like that. I do understand that. I won't act like I don't. Okay, one more.
I'm good, bro.
Like, so I'm currently watching Mayor of Kingstown. I don't know
Okay.
if you know that. But one of the Crips has a insider in the jail. He's a CO over there. Have you ever dealt with that where a street cat has infiltrated the force?
Yeah, man, we got a bunch of people that got, it was on the news, so it ain't nothing that's not public knowledge. We had a few people down at our detention center get hemmed up like that. Out there getting bought, sneaking phones in, sneaking dope in, giving it to inmates. That stuff is real. So it happens. Yeah, it happens, man. They be down there sneaking cell phones and, you know what I'm saying? That's why, like, now you can't have none of that stuff when you go down there. Drop it off in a box. Yep. So yeah, it's real. It's real.